Welcome everyone to this community showdown between the Dark Elves, who shall be led by Faust and Marathi, and today guys he faces off against the Greenskins, who shall be led by Techno Wolfric. Man, that takes me back. You guys remember the early days of the internet with Techno Viking? That was like one of the first memes, wasn't it? You know, if you really look back at it, man, that is going back in time. Now, as far as this Dark Elf build goes, up in the sky, it is going to be Marathi. She's a great choice. She's fast, she has good AP values, she has anti-large, pretty good at actually killing Greenskin Lords. Oftentimes you see Wurzog, of course, on his pig, which makes him a large target. And on top of that, I don't know how she would do in a duel versus Azag. Probably pretty good. She has Enchanting Beauty and the Heartrender in the Dark Sword, so it's going to be lowering her opponent's melee attack by 18, which is pretty big. And she has Soul Stealer, but Azag has Spirit Leech. I don't really know who would win, but again, she brings a lot of utility to the battlefield. Her debuffs also affect nearby units on the ground, so if your Black Orcs are fighting like Karganeth Executioners or the Blades of the Blood Queen are fighting Black Orcs, you can fly overhead and drop their melee attack by 18, which is a huge nerf. I mean, that's going to put them down to a very, very low amount of melee attack. But for the rest of the army, things are getting pretty hog wild. We do have a Bloodrack Shrine. And of course, Medusas aren't considered very competitive, but nonetheless, this bad boy is a Medusa riding a shrine. And you know, Greenskins in the past have had some problems with dealing with these type of units, like big single entity armored, beasts and things like that. And it does cause terror, and it also has pretty powerful missile attacks and good debuffs. Lowers melee defense and leadership here, and buffs your own troops up in that same respect. So certainly has some teeth. Quite excited to see how it goes. We do have a master on a Velociraptor, so he's going to be riding this guy, Anti-Large, Guardian. He also has an item. What is this? The Helm of Many Eyes. But he's not wearing a helmet, so this does not make sense. But I guess that doesn't make sense in this game anyways. But nonetheless, melee attack and armor. And so basically it's like a huge buffing Death Star. So the Helm of Many Eyes is going to be buffing nearby troops, as is the Bloodrack Shrine. Also a Death Hag on a Shrine as well, so the dreaded double Shrine build. We have Harkoneth Executioners in the form of the Blades of the Blood Queen, Spears, and a couple groups of Shades to give some counter skirmishing. Otherwise, the Greenskins can basically just ride circles around you with their annoying Goblin Wolf Rider archers and just cackle, and it's not going to be a great time. Yeah, I like this army a lot. I think it's pretty fun. Certainly not a competitive, or it has some competitive teeth, but it's not your traditional competitive army is what I was trying to say. And we'll see if it can work. He's playing a pretty good player here and a very solid Greenskin army from the looks of it. So over here we have Death's Creepers, Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, a little skirmishing core to shut down, Dark Riders with crossbows, to maybe just counter skirmish some of the things like Scourge Runners and just chase them and annoy them. Scourge Runners have recently been nerfed, and I think they lost like something like 900 HP overall. It's a pretty big nerf, which they deserved for sure. For the rest of the army here, it's going to be some Black Orcs here in the center, anchoring the formation, Goblins, Savage Orc Biggins on the flank, which is always pretty good against like Cold Moon Knights and Hydras and things like that. And occasionally you do see a Wild Chill of Sontarvik, especially if Falcon's playing. Nasty Skulkers on the flanks. We have Wurzog here in the center with the Gaze Mork, and it looks like that's pretty much it. So what it looks like here from the Greenskins is they're going to go for Wurzog, they're going to go for the Night Goblin Shaman, and just use these sniping spells. So he has Gorkle Fix It to slow down his target here with the... oh no, that's... what is that one? Not Gorkle Fix It. It's... let's go ahead and find it here. I always forget. Oh, it is Gorkle Fix It. Yeah, so it slows the speed down by 50%. Basically, then you spam the sniping spells from the Goblin Shaman and Wurzog, and you're able to goon out like Flying Lords pretty effectively. So I like this Greenskin army. It's very solid. It's got a couple pigs in the back as well, so it looks like Orc Boar Boys and Orc Boar Boys. And that is it. So let's get this show on the road, guys, and see how this battle unfolds. So Marathi flying overhead, juking back and forth, trying to waste the ammo here of the Wolf Riders. Looks like she hasn't taken too much damage yet, so far so good. A little bit of poke, maybe doing about 200 HP damage. Oh no, but she sits still for a second. The goblins might be able to get some firepower in there. And again, every little bit counts, of course, in these long games when units, of course, like Marathi can get to their healing cap with the Soul Stealer, although I don't know if that's really enough. Anyways, the Medusa here going to be blasting in with its glare into the goblins, and the Shades, of course, have surged forward from the front lines and they're going to be unleashing, I think, into the Death's Creepers. Yeah, just any of these guys, really. And they do have better range. The Shades, of course, have, I think, 130 range, and the Goblins have 100, I think, on most of their... So Wolf Rider Archers have 100, Spider Riders have 100 as well, so pretty much the same depending on, regardless of whether you're riding on, like, a Goblin or a Spider or anything like that. So the Greenskins also have some sneaky goblin play here in the low ground. Oh, these are the Moon Howlers. Interesting stuff. So Moon Howlers are basically just slightly stronger goblins, and they do, of course, cause fear, which is always pretty funny. But this is what we're waiting for, guys. I know you guys just want to see the chariots in action, the glorious Death Hag, and the Bloodrack Shrine. The melee attack of these Blades of the Blood Queen is pretty saucy right now. It's up to 61 from the different buffs from the Helm of Many Eyes, plus also from the Bloodrack Shrine. And even the spears, if they get a little bit closer, will be getting those buffs. Basically, to get the buffs, guys, you have to be... There's an aura of effect. So if we go and show you, let's see if we can kind of showcase this real quick. It might be actually a little bit hard to do in the battle, but you can see here. So it doesn't look like it's quite getting the spears. It has to be like going over the center mass of that flag. So it looks like that unit of spears here is not getting buffed at the moment. You can see their stats are not buffed by any green augments. So Hydra jumping in here, not Hydra, the Medusa, shooting into the goblins and taking out, wow, almost like 19 models right there. That's pretty good. 19 kills with one blast. And the Death Hag, of course, is going to be pretty good against Greenskin infantry. It causes terror, it has anti-infantry, and of course it causes poison as well. So certainly a lot of things that are quite good against Greenskins. Now right here, it looks like a Wand of Koraidon did go down, maybe slapping the pig, followed up by a Soul Stealer as well. But Marathi's going to be getting counter-sniped. It looks like she did get caught with an FG of the Git. And she took a couple missile attacks from Warzog while we were kind of looking down at the Medusa. But nonetheless, pretty good trading so far. Warzog, of course, going to be getting hit with that Soul Stealer. Granted, now the Soul Stealer is not going to be hitting the center mass of this engagement, but the Blades of the Blood Queen are just super juiced up right now. 61 melee attack, and they can obviously defeat these Black Orcs pretty easily, especially considering the Black Orcs do have a melee attack reduction. I would assume if this chariot is close enough, we're just going to put their melee attack down into like the 20s. So Blades of the Blood Queen going pretty strong. Another missile attack going into Marathi right here, but it looks like she is able to land and kind of dodge it, hiding amongst the goblins, which is definitely a clever girl play right there. And yeah, the wall has been popped. So the entire Greenskin army right now is quite sauced up, and they're trying to push through the middle, but the chariots are just doing a really nasty job. Black Orcs doing their best against the Blades of the Blood Queen, but also a Fury of Cain buff. So man, there were just so many buffs. Blades of the Blood Queen up to that Norgelming's territory, rocking 83 melee attack there for a moment. Very, very cool stuff. In the meantime, though, Savage Orc Biggins have collapsed the flanks. No surprise there. That was the weak point here of the Stark Elf army, was their spears defending the flanks. And now they're going to be jumping into the Shades. Now, Shades aren't slouches in combat, and there is also a Bloodrack Shrine helping. So that's going to be lowering the melee attack of the Savage Orcs. Granted, it's up to 48 right now anyways, so I guess it's not too helpful. And the Shades are also going to be fighting in combat. So with the Shrine's help, they should be able to probably win this fight. Now, in the center mass, the Greenskins are doing a good job with their Daka back here. So all the Death's Creepers and Goblin Wolf Riders, and also some of the Black Orcs and the shanking from the Nasty Skulkers is finally getting this Death Hag very low. It's down to 620, guys. Blades of the Blood Queen, though, just going balls deep. Up to 146 kills. Outstanding damage coming in, just doing so much work. And if we look at the battle overall, it seems like it's pretty damn even. I would say just right down the middle. So some of the pigs who were kind of in reserve here are going to be coming around and getting a nice charge in here, hammering in some Marathi, who's a little bit kind of in the danger zone. Marathi's very low. She needs to get a fat Soul Stealer, and there it goes. That should be able to put her back up to around half HP. And the Shades, in many ways, are kind of being crumped on. These Shades right here are forced into melee combat with a bunch of pigs. Granted, these pigs aren't too powerful. Their melee attack currently, with all the debuffs stacked, Marathi plus the Shrine, look at their combat stats, 5 and 7. That is absurd. So they're basically like at the minimum chance to hit just about. The other Shrine, in the meantime, the Death Hag was forced back, so that Hag is going to be running, and now she rallies here. And oh, I did not see these Dark Riders. Where were they all game? Maybe they were forgotten about or something? I don't know. There were some Dark Riders, I guess, in the deep corner, but this is actually a huge boon here. Just having some bodies to stack your Shrine on top of is quite good. So the Master over here doing his best to peel off these Skulkers who have rallied as well. If you look at the battle, again, dead even. Greenskins have a fair amount of Daka. Goblin Wolf Rider archers here across the board. Some pigs in the distance are, yeah, looks like they're thinking about coming back. Those are actually Moonhowlers, not pigs. And Warzog is rallying his troops, get back here, telling them to fight a little bit harder, but the Medusa Shrine still has a ton of ammo, and it's up to 56 kills. Now, one of the few things in this army that's actually quite good against the Shrine is probably all the Daka and missile play. Aside from that, like the rest of the Greenskins, who obviously are very low and susceptible to terror routes, are going to have to get into melee combat to fight this thing. Also, Shades are still shooting back here. It looks like a missile attack coming from downtown from the Goblin, able to hit Marathi, clipping her, not doing the full damage, but still not bad at all. Marathi's going to be jumping down to help out against these goblins. Another missile attack coming in from Warzog, the sniper. And guys, the balance of power is actually going a little bit in the favor of the Greenskins as Marathi just gets more and more beat up. But nonetheless, she still is lending her Heartrender and the Dark Sword and the Enchanting Beauty to this fight, which is making the goblins' combat stats pretty pitiful here. So at this point, Dark Elves going to be falling back a little bit, trying to secure their shade line. You can see the Bloodrack Shrine pulling back and getting that very juicy terror route maybe on the Skulkers. No, it looks like a natural route. And Marathi's going to be chasing down the Orc War Boys. Granted, she could just use these Dark Riders to maybe chase those guys off once he realizes those bad boys are back. And the other Shrine is gone, actually. The Death Hag is pushed off, 371 HP. Some goblins are on the mission to chase that thing, but if it does come back, you could probably deal with those goblins, unfortunately for them. And the Shrine is still doing a very good job just pounding these Black Orcs. Up to 80 kills, another missile attack coming in, going after Marathi once again. Good contact, 573 here. Marathi is in the danger zone, but here comes the Dark Riders, countercharging in, finishing the Skulkers, and it looks to be engaging on the Orc War Boys. Shades are still somewhat shooting. They're obviously in guard mode, which keeps them fighting. And are the Blades of the Blood Queen still anywhere to be seen? I literally think they fought to the bitter end, like down to the last model, and they have nothing left at this point. But Greenskins are still ahead. Black Orcs pushing in, Goblins pushing in, plenty of firepower coming in from these annoying Death Creepers and all these Goblin Wolf Rider archers, which are one of my favorite units to use, actually. And the Master here fighting in the pits here against the Black Orcs. It is a pitched fight. Shades are still going, but if the Greenskins run out of ammo, guys, I'm telling you, this Shrine, like, Greenskins are so vulnerable against terror routes. Thankfully for them, though, Black Orcs are immune to psychology, so those guys will be a very good anchor upon which they can stand. Marathi jumps in here with her anti-large, going to be going after some of the pigs, and they'll probably get terror routed any second. There they go, they're wavering, pushed off. And it looks like a Wand of Koraidon did come in from Marathi, slamming the base, dropping that base right into those Savage Orcs there. Very, very good stuff. And the Master is going pretty strong on his Raptor. He does have anti-large, which is cool. Looks like he is able to finish off some of the Savage Orc Biggins, and now he's going to be turning his sights to the Black Orcs. And honestly, even though it's like Greenskin favored at this point, I still feel like the Elves have some pretty good tools here. The Shrine has the capabilities of kiting as well, because the Medusa, I think, does shoot while it's moving, so it can do some work there, but I don't know. The Master is rocking 117 armor, so he's going to be pretty strong against most of these things except Black Orcs, but I guess maybe just focus everything you have on the Black Orcs, try and get them to buckle off, and then from there just hope for a mass terror out. But nonetheless, very good play by both players. The Greenskin players had outstanding sniping with his characters, using really good missile attacks to wear down those Dark Elf Lords that are normally very tough to take down for the Greenskins. So that was really good as well, and yeah, the good troop durability from the Black Orcs, very impressive, but man, this Death Hag, this Bloodrack Shrine has certainly been doing quite a bit of work. I have to say, Faust has been utilizing it very, very well, and this is what I'm talking about. Kill the Black Orcs and then rely on terror routes later. The other Black Orcs are being hammered and focused down by the Master, and these ones are being shot by the Shades as they do chase down this chariot here. And it looks like the Shrine might just turn around and go, although the Medusa, I don't know if it shoots 360, like shoots behind. I think it just shoots forward. And here comes another shot right there. It looks like she did it. No, she's just kind of dancing up there, shaking them dreads. Not doing too much, but this could be a mass terror route right here. A lot of these troops are very, very low, especially if the Black Orcs do buckle off. It could lead to like a chain reaction. Marathi over here going to be getting another missile attack. Ooh, down to 341. Now, another question is what kind of magic does Marathi have? And sorry, guys, a little bit of a noise in the backyard. My neighbors are just going hog wild with chopping down some giant tree. But Marathi's flying overhead. Hopefully you can't hear it too much. And she's pretty close to breaking, guys. Balance of power is almost point of no return. I don't know if Faust is going to be able to pull this one back. Maybe if Marathi can get super lucky and like goon out Wurzog. Wurzog's kind of been lulled into a false sense of comfort back here, and it looks like this pig is going to be turning, but yeah, definitely a good play. Probably your best bet, honestly, is trying to goon out Wurzog. Here comes Marathi. Does she get contact? It looks like Wurzog does take a huge blow, and guys, the Master is coming in as well, and he has anti-large. If they're able to kill Wurzog, that could be a huge way back into the game. And a good conservative play here by Faust, falling back into the sky instead of trying to overchase Wurzog, where he could lure you into a bit of a trap. Here, the Bloodrack Shrine is going down. It looks like the Greenskin Horde has fully surrounded it, and that is going to be army losses here for the, I was about to say the Night Elves, for the Dark Elves. Man, super well played game to both people. I mean, that was an outstanding match, and I really kind of like the build. I think it was very cool, very avant-garde, very different. Seeing the double shrine, it kind of did some work, especially the blood rack, and it makes me kind of beg the question. Maybe if you just go with like double blood rack instead of the Death Hag, that you would get more value. Look at the kills on this thing. Granted, the other Death Hag was focused super heavily by missile play and was kind of more exposed in the beginning, so I don't think it's a testament to the functionality of the Death Hag, but more so just the positioning. I don't know. I wonder which one would be better. Death Hag certainly brings a lot to the battlefield with the poison and things like that, but the missile attacks from the Bloodrack Shrine, pretty decent against infantry. And yeah, it was really fun to watch. Now, as far as this build goes, I'm trying to think what I would like change if I were going to try and I mean, obviously it's a very cool build, but if you want to make the double shrine work, I feel like the Shades were one vulnerability of the army. Because again, they can get swarmed on. They're having to fight like Savage Orcs, which isn't great. Maybe if you're going to go for like a shrine like type Death Star, you just get like, I don't even know. It's hard. It's hard. Maybe you just get like a Hydra or some sort of a big beast as well, just to like really lay on the thunder. And I'm pretty sure that would stay within the single entity rule of the tournaments and everything like that. But yeah, Faust with an awesome build. And man, he put up a great fight. And it was a really fun match to watch. And of course, Techno Wolfric from DDG, which is a great name. I love it. He did a really good job. I mean, there was terror routes going on. Marathi was juking and flying, and he was really consistent with his missile attacks and eventually was able to take the game. So super well played to both these fine players. It was a really fun match. And thank you, Faust, for sending in the replay. People don't often send in losses, but when they do, it's always welcome. So well played to Faust and Techno Wolfric DDG, champion of DDG. And on that note, guys, we will see you around and have a good night.